Sunday morning worship service of the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of South County. Law requires that we start by informing you that in the unlikely event of an emergency, you may exit the building the way you came in, through the vestibule, or go through the Anita room and out the ramp, or behind me, there's an exit, or straight down the hallway to the left. I'd also like to remind you that because this time together on Sunday morning is so elemental to who we are and what we stand for, that we encourage you to wear masks during worship in order to make the space safer for everyone. It's good to be with you here this morning in the beautiful village of Peacedale, Rhode Island, on the edge of the Saugatucket River, on land the Narragansett people have nurtured for 30,000 years. Whether you're with us here in the sanctuary, hang on, okay, or joining us via Zoom, you are welcome here. Whether you come ready to celebrate the joys in your life or sit with sadness in the company of fellow seekers, you are welcome here. Whoever you are, wherever you come from, however you identify all of the facets of your being, whomever you love, you are welcome here. I'd like to invite this morning greeters to rise so that everyone can see who you are. Oh, there's Russ is just waving, there's Val in the front, and they're probably still greeting. Do we have any newcomers in the sanctuary this morning? If we do, I don't want to put you on the spot, but if you're comfortable, perhaps you'd like to raise your hand or stand. Okay. Newcomers on Zoom, I invite you to introduce yourselves to one another at the end of the service, and especially our fabulous virtual ushers, Jean and Aileen. Before we get started, I have a few announcements.
And who are you?
I'm sorry. I'm Nancy Richman. Thank you. I'm sorry. I'm one of the co-leaders for today's service with Lee Cowan, our Director of Religious Education. Thank you. Okay, our first announcement is that Dining for Dollars Plus ends tonight at 11:59 p.m. Bidding has been great. I've already been outbid a couple of times and have had to jump back in. There are many opportunities still open, and even if it seems like an event is full, that just means that you have to bid at the next increment. Nothing is closed.
Except for one.
Except for one. Rev Denise dinner is closed. Okay, so go to the auction website posted on the UUCSC homepage or in the newsletter and have fun. So Trish and Betsy will be in the Onita room after the services today to help anyone who needs help or has questions. So if you have not been able to get on, have any questions, need any help, people will be at the table. Remember, you have just under 14 hours to get your bid in. If you, from Val, follow it, if you would like to become a friend of our congregation and also in the directory, please fill out a form that's on the little podium stand in the foyer where you came in. Juggling all these papers. Okay, on Tuesdays through the end of June, Rev Denise and others are kayaking on Indian Lake, right, in an event we call Worship on the Water. We enjoy the water in the company of fellow seekers. There's no preaching, no chalice lighting, just sharing and paddling our own kayaks and canoes around Indian Lake. It's a secret place worth finding. 8 of us had a great time last week, so we invite you to join us. Another announcement, UUCSC will be marching and riding in the 300th anniversary of the South Kingstown Parade on June 17th. We have a beautiful banner to lead us off, followed by Gail Burchard's convertible, and 22 ready-made signs carried by our members walking in our new t-shirts, or any UUCSC t-shirt, or any t-shirt. So all the details are in Friday's newsletter. So in case you missed it, there's an RSVP sign-up form that you may complete so we know how many people are coming to increase our visibility in the community. but come at the last minute even if you haven't RSVP'd. Finally, a reminder that at 11:30, after next week's music service, we'll have our annual business meeting. All right. Okay, so now please stand in body or spirit and turn to page 65 in your gray hymnal to sing the hymn, The Sweet June Days. Every week we light our chalice, the lamp of our heritage, along with Unitarian Universalists around the world. I'd like to invite Andrew, Daniel, and Bobby Bilecki White to do us the honor of lighting the flame within our chalice. As the first hint of green begins to peek through the barren ground, as that little sprig grows into a healthy stem, as that stem grows into a stalk and forms a bud, as that bud slowly opens with each new day to form a yellow daffodil. Let us be like that first hint of green, renewed by the warmth of the sun's rays, and ready to emerge with a new energy, ready to face the day. We light this chalice to bring a glimmer of that warmth into our space.
Hello, everybody. It's so nice to see our sanctuary pretty full today, and to see all the flowers peeking up over the backs of chairs. And I thank you for everyone that's on Zoom. Thanks for being here. So you all know me well enough, I think, by now to know that I love ritual, and I love that pause and creating the container to hold that space, and I love the depth and the connection that it brings. And I really think that's why we gather here every Sunday. So today is special not only because it is our flower communion, a beloved UU tradition, but also because it's the 100th anniversary of flower communion. So it's been 100 years of holding this particular ceremony. And flower communion is more than an exchanging of flowers. Each person brings a flower that is beautiful to them, that caught their eye or that they have in their yard, and they offer it here on our altar. And it's like each of us bringing a piece of ourselves each week to share with the congregation, like we do every Sunday. Each of us brings a piece of our truth, and it joins with the truth of all of those here in this space, and it creates a vibrant community. So some of you might be visiting for the first time, or you didn't know that today was flower communion, or you forgot, or you ran out of time to bring a flower. But a lot of people brought extra flowers. And either way, everyone here has brought themselves. And so you are bringing your own beautiful spirit into this space to create this ritual. And always through some miracle, kind of like the story of loaves and fishes, there's always more than enough flowers at the end of the service. And so we invite everyone to take part in this special ritual. So now, in a moment, I'm going to invite you up to place the flower that you brought onto our altar. And as you walk, I just invite you to take a moment to breathe, to just ground yourself into this space and walk mindfully. And if you feel so inspired, I invite you to put some intention and good energy into your flower as you walk, so that we are creating a bouquet of blessings. So I invite you to come up now with your flower and add it to the altar. And people on Zoom at home, maybe you go find a flower in your yard or on your table. And put it in front of you too, because we're going to have some special things that we do with these flowers. We're going to offer them some blessings and some meditations with them later on.
Some water, some flour for the flowers.
Water from the flowers.
Flour.
Cool.
Do you want a flower? I was gonna offer some. Oh, to bring.
Feel free to come around to either side of the table.
Yeah, if you guys want to come around, you can access the table from the back way too. If you're waiting in the center aisle, just come around to the side so that you can access the table on this side. There you go, Mary. Look, Mary's listening to me. So is Sue. Thank you. Oh my gosh, look at this. All these colors, they're gorgeous.
If we run out of room in the vases, please just lay them on the table. It's absolutely gorgeous.
Look what we've created, everybody.
Okay.
Well, thank you for that. That is the first part of our ritual, is offering the flowers into this space and creating this incredible display of beauty. Thank you. So I now have a short blessing that can be done as a body prayer. So if you would like to join me, the movements are very simple. I'm going to say the longer lines one time, and then I'll say the shortened version one time, and then we'll do the prayer 3 times together in silence. May the beauty of these flowers bring blessings to our sanctuary and to our lives. Oh, you can repeat after me. Sorry about that. I didn't think about that. Let's start over. May the beauty of these flowers bring blessings to our sanctuary and to our lives. May the beauty of these flowers bring blessings to our sanctuary and to our lives.
It's okay. You have plenty.
May the miracle of the bees and the pollinators that tend these flowers spread their pollinating beauty into our world. That's a long sentence. I was not planning on repeating after me, but you guys are so into it. Bees and the pollinators that tend these flowers spread their beauty into our world. Okay, the next one is short. May all the love in our hearts radiate out into the world. May all the love in our hearts radiate out into the world. The beauty of the flowers, the miracle of the bees, the love in our hearts.
You need a hug.
And one more time. Beautiful. Thank you for co-creating that with me.
Within the heart of the flower, fountain of beauty. Within the heart of the community, the fire that warms and dances. Within the heart of each of us, the spark of the spirit of life. Holy, holy, holy. Words by Amy Zucker-Morgenstern. Now let us affirm our commitment to living well and nurturing our flowers, our gardens, the earth, and each other with the words of our covenant. The words, if you don't know them, are in the order of service. Love is the spirit of this congregation, and service is its prayer. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. Hang on a sec. Get there. Is this one working? Yes. Great. So, how many of you here have seen, are we standing up here? We're just getting
Harold and Maude. Okay, it's a movie, I don't know, from the 90s maybe, called Harold and Maude. If you haven't seen it, you should go see it. I've seen it probably 20 times because when I was in my 20s, everyone who hadn't seen it, I would take them home and show them that movie because it was so meaningful to me. And so we have a little scene. Are we in the thing?
I hope so.
No. Oh, yeah. Okay. So we have a little scene from Harold and Maude for you today. I should like to change into a sunflower most of all. They're so tall and simple. Harold, what kind of flower would you like to be?
I don't know. They're flowers. One of these maybe?
And why do you say that?
Because flowers are all alike.
Not. Look, some are smaller, some are fatter, some grow to the left, some to the right. There's all kinds of observable differences. You see, Harold, I feel that much of the world's sorrow comes from people who are this and yet allow themselves to be treated as that. I'm just going to stay with these flowers here for a moment. So, the point of that little skit is maybe obvious to most of you, but that each person is unique. And even in a field of flowers that all look like they're all the same and a sea of faces that all look the same. Each person is special in their own way, and each brings their own light to this world. So that's kind of like our first principle. Everyone deserves respect. Everyone is worthy. And there's only one you, and so we celebrate that every day. Just like Dr. Seuss says, today you are you, that is truer than true. There's no one alive that is youer than you. And we're just like these flowers, each a beautiful piece in this web of life. So, even though the kids have just left, Maribel, don't leave. This is the time when the kids come get flowers. If there's any parent that wants to go tell the kids that just left. Anyway, I invite the kids to come up and first just gather around this table of flowers. So come on up here, kids of all ages, youth, high schoolers, anybody?
Bobby?
Maybe not the adults, you guys are gonna get your turn in a little bit. I know there's some kids at heart here, but we're gonna wait on you. Okay. So first I just want you to look at the flowers without touching them. So just check out the different colors we have here, the different textures. See what you see. You can come over to this side too. Come all around so you can get close. You can actually smell some if you want. I'm wondering if any of you would like to share, if you could be a flower, which one of these flowers would you be? Maribel?
I'd be the rose.
And why is that?
Because I like red, and I have a pink rose on my shirt.
Beautiful. Anybody else? What flower would you be, Estella? Oh, you want to whisper it to me? Whisper it to me? Blessing for each other and for the flowers. Our sibling, the star, our parent, the earth, our grandparent, the sun, our cousin, the moon. To our lives, give beauty. To our bodies, give strength. To our work, give goodness. To our world, give peace. To our spirits, give truth. To our elders, give wisdom. We pray for strength. We pray to come together. We pray for the weeping earth. We pray to the trembling waters and to the wandering rain. We pray to the whispering moon. We pray to the tiptoeing stars. We pray to the hollering sun and to these flowers, precious gifts of the earth, that they may manifest all of our greatest hopes for compassion and healing today and forever. And let's just take a few moments to sit in that. Well, I've been thinking about how much I love this community, and I said last week that I would do this job even if you weren't paying me. And that actually wasn't a joke. Most of my life has been spent doing things that I love and not getting paid for them. And so there's a big precedent of that in my life. And this is truly the work that feeds my soul, and that's what's most important to me. And also, it's really good practice for me to do things like accept the offertory, where I'm saying yes, and this monetary abundance is also welcome in my life. And so, I just, wanted to say that it's a joy being here. What were you thinking about, Nancy?
Well, nothing that profound, but let's move the camera. I was thinking about flowers and gardens, and I was just remembering reading an article about how it's important to talk to your flowers. Did you know that? So I tried to teach my flowers mathematics, but they ended up with square roots.
Yeah, we're channeling Rev Denis right now. You like it? Are you proud of us? Yeah. Well, in in my garden, I have a plant that has never bloomed. I hope it's not a bud omen.
On my walk this morning, I saw a funny-looking dog. Got me to wondering, what would you get if you crossed a sheepdog and a rose?
I have no idea. What do you get when you cross a sheepdog with a rose?
A cauliflower. Actually, I'm just pawing your leg.
So speaking of flowers, I noticed recently that someone has been adding soil to my garden beds at night. The plot thickens.
Sometimes the mediums get paid for entertaining. Other time, people need to get paid to stop entertaining. This morning's offering will not be received.
Swing. Come up. She is going to share a spiritual reflection with us today. Thank you.
Jean and Aileen, would you make sure you record this? Thanks. Okay. So I'm going to share with you about delighting in beauty today, which is, I thought, very relevant with the flower communion, because we have so much beauty in our lives. And we have the opportunity and the ability to open ourselves to delight in each of them. Today we're focusing on our awareness on flowers, and we can delight in the incredible diversity of them. The creativity involved in making each variety. I mean, look at them all here. We've got rhododendrons, we've got irises, we've got daisies, we've got roses, we've got the lupins, and the mountain laurels. Each variety is so special and unique. And even though they were all created to fertilize, so that they could create more flowers and more plants, the diversity is just awesome. And I particularly love this time of year when the mountain laurel blooms. And I chose to live on Ministerial Road because of the mountain laurel. When it blooms like this, and this year is really special, it's just heavenly to be surrounded by all these beautiful flowers. And have you ever looked closely at a mountain laurel blossom? It's a pentagonal, five-sided bell shape. Each one is so special. I mean, that you don't often find five-sided flowers to begin with, and certainly not in a bell form. So I think that makes it really special and wondrous. So I'm going to pass this around to give you a chance to really look at it. Each of our senses can tune into beauty. They say beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And this beholder, me, recognizes beauty in so many different things. And I can delight in them all. Whether it is a beautiful flower, a piece of music that touches me, a delicious meal, sweet or spicy fragrances, the warmth of the sun on my face, a hug from a loved one, the joy of laughing together, or enjoying how my body can move in a dance, or a creative turn of phrase in a favorite reading. and noticing the connections between us and nature and the entire universe. I think the key to delight is to be open to experiencing it, relishing it, letting my spirit soar. And then I give thanks for these experiences and my abilities, as this gratitude helps to ground me. For example, when I walk on a beach, I take it all in. I delight in the beauty of the sea, the smell of the salt air, the warmth of the sun, the refreshing breezes, the soothing sounds of the waves, and the connections with Grandmother Ocean, the source of all life on earth. I am soaring with joy and at the same time finding peace in my soul. I am just a minuscule part of the universe, and yet at the same time, from my perspective, I am my whole experience. I have the power to choose where I focus my awareness, and thus I can notice or ignore all of life's beauty. When I get down or overwhelmed with tasks and responsibilities, I can take a breath, broaden my awareness, and remind myself of all the wonder of life. I can learn something new, practice kindness, take in a sunset, smell a flower, and I can thank God, nature, science. Yeah, yeah, allergies. I can thank God, nature, science, evolution, or whatever I'm believing in at the moment, that I have the senses to perceive these awesome wonders, that I live in a free society which enables me to have access to such delights, and for their very existence. When I am delighted, I feel uplifted. My spirit soars, and I invite each of you to open to experience delight in your own lives as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy. I'm going to tell you the story of Norbert Čapek and the history of the flower ceremony. These are words written by Teresa and David Schwartz. His mother was a devout Catholic, his father agnostic. He became an acolyte at the age of 10 in 1890 at St. Martin's Catholic Church. In the years that follows, he became disillusioned. At 18, apprenticed to his uncle, a successful tailor in Vienna, Norbert discovered the Baptists and became a minister. He founded almost a dozen churches from Ukraine to Budapest. Yet slowly his faith became more and more liberal. He left Bohemia under government threat and accepted a call to serve a Baptist church in New York City until one day in 1919. That day he wrote in his diary, "I cannot be a Baptist anymore, even in compromise. The fire of new desires, new worlds is burning inside me." Norbert and his wife Maya Čapek joined a Unitarian church in New Jersey in 1921. World War I ended. His home country now independent, he and his wife returned home to Czechoslovakia. His Unitarian community was the Prague Liberal Religious Fellowship. In 20 years, his congregation had 3,200 members. The traditional Christian communion services of bread and wine didn't meet the needs of his congregation because his community, like ours, had people who believed many different things. Čapek turned to the beauty of the countryside, to the beauty of flowers. In 1923, he developed the flower ceremony. He asked his congregants to bring a flower to the service, from their gardens, the field, or the roadside. He invited each person to place their flower in a vase. There was a community no less unique for being united. Following the service, each person could take a flower, a different one than they had brought. Čapek was a visionary minister with a congregation ahead of its time. Bold community, a congregation thinking beyond its doors, beyond what it thought possible. It was a community that was willing to take risks, to make tough decisions, to bear disappointment, and to build a new way. First by building a congregation, and that congregation, that community, could then build the world. That was Čapek's community. That is our community. For this, the Gestapo arrested him in 1942. The Nazis accused Čapek of listening to foreign broadcasts and sent him to Dachau, concentration camp. Even in starvation and torture, he held a flower ceremony with his fellow prisoners, finding whatever flowers they could among the weeds of the camp. They testified to a beauty larger than themselves and a love that would outlive them. The Nazis killed Norbert Čapek, but his spirit, courage, and commitment live on today. Those qualities have passed now to us to make them real. His wife Maya brought the flower ceremony to the Unitarian congregation in Cambridge, Mass. So what we are doing today is not a historical reenactment of something over and done, but an affirmation of our continuity with the generations of struggle to forever widen liberty and justice and freedom. This flower ceremony, lovely though it is, isn't a diversion from reality, but a gentle fierceness which proclaims that in the midst of sinister days, there is always the light of beauty. We are here not to recall something that happened in the past, but to remember something that is happening now. To remember, to put it back together again, and in that remembering, may we put ourselves back together again, each as part of the body of this community, out of many, one. Today we celebrate this ritual of solemnity and joy. As Čapek asked his people to bring a flower and celebrate beauty, so shall we. Now please stand in body or spirit and turn to page 203 for the hymn, All Creatures of the Earth and Sky. Do you want to do that from the altar or from here? Sure, what altar?
Actually, I think the flowers. Put it on the flowers. Sort of, yeah.
So these beautiful and varied flowers have been sitting in this space for the last hour that we have been gathering, and they've been absorbing all of our love and all of our joy, as well as all of our sadness and worry that we hold in our hearts. They are a symbol of hope, hope that love will overcome all. So now I'd like to invite you to come and choose a flower and take it back to your seat with you. So if you can use the center aisle and that aisle to come around to this side of both sides of the table, you're welcome to rise and choose a flower. And for people at home, if you have a flower, you can pick it up now and sit with it. We're going to do a short meditation with it in a moment. Yeah, come get a flower. There's plenty. Plenty. I guess I should get a flower. You're welcome to come around to all sides.
I want the haircut.
Most people would say.
Okay, you can put it back.
Did you pick the same one as me? That wasn't even planned.
These are iris, so you should definitely.
Sorry. No, it's okay. Don't worry. I don't want to exclude anybody. You guys have other flowers. Ready? Perfect. Beautiful. Right, thank you everybody. So now everyone should have a flower. I hope you do. It's okay if it doesn't get straight into water. You can still bring it home with you. It'll dry in your car. This is your special flower to take a piece of this ceremony home with you today. So just like I invited the kiddos to do, I invite you now to just hang out with your flower. Smell it, look at its, look at what makes it unique. It's different even than the other flowers that are of the same variety in this, in these vases. So use all your senses and take it in. And if you would like, I invite you to close your eyes after you've studied your flower. And just feel the energy in the room for a moment and feel the energy that these flowers are now holding. Thank you. Within the heart of the flower, the fountain of beauty. Within the heart of the community, a fire that warms and dances. Within the heart of each of us, a spark of the spirit of life. Holy, holy, holy.
We extinguish
Chalice.